I'm here with special guest Kristen Thomas from Open the Doors Coaching. And Kristen, you are going to break down online dating for us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate being here today.
Absolutely. So you are a professional in the world of dating, relationships, and all of the tips.
I am, yes.
So what do you think about online dating?
I think that it's a mixed bag. It's not for everybody, but there's definitely some ways to make it a lot easier and a lot more successful too. One of the biggest things that you need to do is make sure that you've got a really, really good profile picture. That's absolutely key. It should be just you. It should be from the shoulders up. It doesn't necessarily have to be a professional headshot. In fact, I probably would say don't use the one you're using on LinkedIn on your Facebook or your dating profile, I should say. Make sure there's no sunglasses. They want to see your face. They want to see your eyes. And you need to look friendly and smile.
And you said just you. I feel like a lot of people probably post with their friends and things like that.
Or their children. That's fine if you've got kids and you want people to know that on your profile, but that first picture really should be just you. There should be no guessing who it is that I'm about to swipe and look at another picture of and figure out who that person is.
And how many photos should people be sharing?
Maximize your profile photos. If you can have 6, do 6. Absolutely. But you gotta have a lot of variety in your pictures too. That first one being by yourself. You can have another picture with other people. Maybe it's you and your parents, you in a social situation, but try to not make it to where they're playing Where's Waldo on all the other pictures. Yeah. It should also not be a picture that has someone cropped out because you can see a woman's hair. Exactly. Don't use photos from your first wedding when you're trying to find the second spouse. I've seen that too. No car selfies, no gym selfies, no bathroom mirror selfies.
What about gym photos? A lot of people
do them. I don't recommend gym photos at all.
So if you were just going to sum that up and you're going to tell people to add the photos, what should it represent?
It should represent their personality. It should show something about their hobbies. It should show something about the things that they like. If they have pets, that's always great. People love to see, people's pets, and that's a great icebreaker too. When I said look friendly, make sure that you're smiling. You don't have to necessarily show teeth, but don't pout, don't do duck lips, no blue steel. No
awesome.
Zoolander looks.
Well, those are some great tips for your profile picture. What else can you tell us that people should think about for online dating?
I think that they need to be just pictures of you, no memes. No memes, pictures of people and things, but no sayings, no phrases, no like pictures of you looking like your celebrity twin or things like that. They just need to be about you, but no memes, ever, ever, ever. You need to make sure that there's a full body shot too. People want to go ahead and see exactly what you look like, and it doesn't matter what your body type is, just showcase it.
How do you feel about people using edited photos? Because you want to put your best self out there. A lot of people like to use filters and things like that just on their Instagram or on their regular social media outlets. How do you feel about doing that on your online profiles?
I think Instagram pictures are really good, but don't use Snapchat pictures. Don't use you filtered as a puppy or a kitten or a vampire, things like that. Those are funny and all, but that's for your friends. They should not be a part of your dating profile.
When you're putting your best self out there, like you mentioned with all of these photos and everything, you talk about showing off your hobbies and really putting your best foot forward. What is your tone and attitude? How should that present itself online?
That should also be as positive as you possibly can make it. Anytime you're framing something in the negative of I don't want this kind of person or swipe left if you voted for that person, you can turn those things around and make them a positive. You can say, we would connect really well if you like these things. I would really love it if you're this kind of person. Please swipe right. Everything should be framed positively. If you're complaining about something or talking about things you don't like, it's probably all you're going to end up attracting. So the tone of everything really needs to be very, very positive.
How much is too much for people when they're sharing? Because you mentioned don't post necessarily swipe left if you don't agree with me on this or that. How much should you reveal online?
Don't hide anything, certainly. If you have kids, it's okay to say in your profile that you have kids. Maybe just don't put a picture of them up there. They didn't consent to having your pictures put up. If you're pretty conservative or you're pretty liberal and that's really important to you, I think it is okay to put that on your profile, but do it in a way that makes people feel like, okay, I would connect with this person rather than leaving them with a bad taste in their mouth. Again, saying, I like it when you like these things versus I don't like you if you like this stuff. There's just a big difference in that tone. And even if someone is like you, if you're putting it in a negative framework, that might turn that person off just because they don't like your attitude, even if you like the same things.
So when people commit to taking your tips and putting together their profile, what do you recommend they do? Like how many hours a week or time should they spend on online dating? What should they be doing, I guess, with their profiles?
I think that you do need to be consistent, especially some of the platforms like Bumble. You only have 24 hours as the female to send the first message. So if you take one Thursday afternoon and you start swiping, but then you don't pay attention to it for another 3 days, you could have just missed out on some really good connections, unless you're having to pay for the platform and pay for those people to come back. I think that you should probably hop on it daily just to check for those purposes, unless you're on a platform that just doesn't matter. It only becomes too much when you feel like it becomes too much. When you feel like all you're doing is getting on your phone and looking at that platform constantly and just answering messages, maybe you're swiping too much. One tip that I recommend to my clients is to just swipe on 3 or 4 people that you like and then give it a few days and see how those play out. Maybe you'll get a message back soon, maybe you won't. But then at least you're not feeling quite so overwhelmed. Because if you end up matching with 10 people because you swiped on 30 or 40, then it's all noise. It's just all noise at that point.
And so once people connect online with any of these different outlets, how long do you think they should message? Should they talk on the phone? Any pre-steps once they've started connecting after that initial match?
I wish I could say that there was a magic answer to like it takes this long and messaging and then you need to talk on the phone for this long, but it's different for everybody. I know people who've had a really good connection in the morning, they had a date that night and hit it off really, really well. Others, it took them months and months and months to actually meet in person. So there's no magic formula to it. Sometimes it's all about timing, and give people a little grace too. Maybe you matched, but they're really busy. They're busy with work. They're about to head off on vacation. Just be realistic that maybe folks are busy and just keep following up. If you actually like the person, show some effort. Show that you're really actually interested and keep messaging or keep calling.
So with your clients, do you recommend that they double message?
Oh yeah, the whole thing of you can't respond to them or you can't send a message because you were the last one to send a message. I'm not a fan of putting rules on it like that. I think that every situation can be different. Now if you've sent like 3 or 4 messages over a few days and you've not heard anything, maybe it's worth sending that like, okay, I guess this, isn't going anywhere. Because maybe you're gonna get a message back that just says, oh, I'm so sorry, I was just busy, or I didn't see your last messages. But yeah, don't worry about playing the games of, I was the last one to call, so he's gotta be the one to call me next.
And you mentioned that there are a lot of different apps and websites out there. What are the ones that you recommend, and how do you think people should go about finding the right ones for them to join?
There's such a wide variety of apps and platforms. Sometimes it's trial and error. Some platforms are really popular in one city and they're not popular in another one, so you may have heard of one, but if not many people in your area are using it, it doesn't make much sense. I say talk to your friends. Ask your friends who are doing online dating. Ask them about their experiences. And if anything, look at their profiles and then get some tips about what they're liking about that particular platform. I do like Hinge. I think it's more of a visual story about yourself. I like Bumble because it is more female driven. So women who have been concerned or are concerned about getting random messages or dick pics, you can't get them on there because you have to reach out first. But yeah, you need to be realistic about what your goal is. If you're just looking for hookups, things like Grindr and Tinder are better for that. If you're looking for just casual dating, things like, again, Hinge or Bumble are good for that. Long-term relationships, honestly, there's people on all of them that are looking for that, but that does tend to be more about like Match, Bumble, things like that. Something that goes along with what I was saying about being positive is that you really need to choose and use your words wisely. Using things like the words honest, drama, trustworthy, those raise some red flags. If your profile says, I really want someone who's trustworthy and drama-free, all that person reading your profile thinks is, oh, who hurt you? Like, I'm so sorry, but like, I'm not gonna be that girl for you. You need to, if you say fun loving, you need to be more specific about that. Fun is subjective. When people say like, my kids are my life, that's also a turn off for a lot of people. If you've got children, it's the assumption that your kids are your life. But when you're putting that as your first thing, what you're telling people is, you're not going to be a priority for me ever. So obviously that's not the case. You're here to find someone, you're here to find love, someone, you do want someone to be that priority in your life, but you've got to choose your words wisely if you're trying to show someone that you're ready for a relationship.
And you mentioned some of the different dating apps that are out there, but when it comes to just using social media in general, how do you feel about people online dating through social media app platforms?
People do it all the time. I have a friend that just got married because she met her guy on Instagram. So it really does happen. People will slide into your DMs. I mean, hey, if they're looking at your social media profiles and they like what they see, great. But yeah, it's something to be conscientious of. If you are looking for a relationship, even if you're on a dating profile, people are gonna find your social media, and it's really important that they see consistency. If you're presenting yourself as one person on a dating platform, that better be who they find on Facebook and Instagram too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all of your tips. We really appreciate having you here and sharing all of your wisdom with online dating.
Thank you so much.